In Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is warning his country to prepare for a new wave of Russian airstrikes. He says that as long as Moscow has missiles, it will not rest. Now, airstrikes this month have caused the most damage to the power grid since the war began back in February. Millions remain without electricity and heat. And that is happening with winter firmly being felt in Ukraine. I'm joined now by the Ukrainian lawmaker, Kira Rudik. She is the leader of the opposition Holos Party. Kira, it's good to see you again. Let's talk about what people in Ukraine are dealing with. The last time you and I talked, we were talking about these Russian airstrikes, but that was a month and a half ago. Now winter has arrived. It's the cold temperatures and the airstrikes that have become the two weapons that Russia is using against your country, isn't it?
Of course. First of all, thank you so much for having me. And second, Russia is weaponizing everything. They are weaponizing food, the export of the grains. They are weaponizing electricity. They are weaponizing nuclear. They are doing everything possible and impossible to win the war. However, they are losing on the military side. Right now, over 50% of Ukrainian energy infrastructure is destroyed. And though we are trying to fix it as soon as possible, as much as possible, we are still falling behind because the attacks continue. As of today, half of population of Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, has been without electricity, without the heat, and from time to time without the running water. It is extremely hard right now in Ukraine because it also affects the connectivity. And I can tell you, you can survive without the heat, you can survive without the water, you kind of can survive without electricity, but it's extremely hard without the connectivity, without the connection to the loved ones and just to the rest of the world.
But has the situation changed for the military in that you're getting the weapons from the West now that you need? What you need now are enough spare parts to repair the energy infrastructure. I mean, that has also changed, hasn't it?
We are receiving right now more weapons, more supplies, and of course some spare parts to help us with the rebuilding of energy infrastructure. However, every single day we need more, and the best investment by our allies right now would be Air Force protection systems that will allow us to protect what is not damaged, what is not destroyed, because we are one step before the total national blackout. And this is extremely dangerous because it will affect, again, everyone in the whole Europe, given that we have the energy grid connected, but also that people will be leaving Ukraine and there will be another wave of refugees.
I know that Russia has denied that it ever had plans to withdraw its troops from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in southern Ukraine. We know it's occupied the area since the early days of the war. Ukraine is claiming that Russian forces were planning to withdraw. What's the truth? I mean, do you have a confirmation that you can share with us?
We do not have confirmation on that, but I want to warn everybody not to trust Russia's words. There has been no evidence in the past that you can do that, so we should not be having any illusion about that. Right now, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, the largest nuclear plant in the whole Europe, is the most dangerous piece and the most threatening part of the war right now for the whole world, because we are basically one mistake away or one intention away, one bad missile away from a nuclear catastrophe, and all the fighting that are continuing around the plant are extremely dangerous for everyone. So if there is one step the international community needs to make is to assure that the plant is neutral, because, you know, we have been through Chernobyl. We know that radiation is not picking who has which passport. And it would be a generational tragedy to so many people, to so many nations.
I have to ask you, before we run out of time, there are reports now that U.S. weapon shipments to Taiwan are behind schedule because of these weapon shipments going to Ukraine. How worried are you that as we enter 2023, that decisions will have to be made in Washington between Kyiv or Taipei?
I have recently visited Taipei, and we do have an agreement that Ukraine right now is an current epicenter of fighting for the freedom, and Taiwan is potential future epicenter. So right now, I do believe that the extension of the military production in the whole world will help us to receive enough of the weapons and supplies in the upcoming years. So what is coming up, I'm less worried that the winter that we need to survive, and we need to make sure that people just physically will go through it, and in February we will still be capable of fighting and we'll be all good and well.
Yeah, that's right. Spring cannot come soon enough. Ukrainian lawmaker Kyiv Rudik joining us tonight. As always, Kyiv, we appreciate your time and your insights. Thank you.
Thank you, and glory to Ukraine.